Hello, this video is for LA461 Senior Project Design Focus Studio at Cal Poly. My name is Jenna Meath and my senior project is a cultural center for Native Americans in a state park museum. The location is in West Sacramento, California. In this video I will discuss site observations, programming, and 3 conceptual designs. This project is of great significance to the California Native American community for historical preservation and the continuation of cultural traditions. The site will serve as a place to host gatherings for California tribes. It will support the continual growth of California tribes as a community. The surrounding community will benefit from the site as a destination for educational enrichment. The project is located on 43 acres of riverfront property, which is planned for donation from Yolo County Parks to California State Parks. The site is bounded by the Sacramento River to the east, housing communities to the north and west, and an undeveloped parcel to the south. Across the river is the edge of the American River Parkway, a 100-mile green space bike trail. Most of the property is part of a 200-year floodplain and located on the inside of the levee. There is also a wetland on site as a result of a borrow pit created by excavation in the 1980s. The northern part of the site is above the mean water level and is relatively flat, making it ideal for larger open space programs. The following concepts were developed to fit specifically to this site and to incorporate local inspiration. This first design is inspired by the sacredness of water as the provider of life. Everything here emphasizes the significance of water and can be used as an educational tool to take advantage of vistas and viewpoints of the river and wetland. The idea here is to be reminiscent of the cultural significance of the rivers and reflective of how we can treat and use water provided by the same river today. This concept highlights the current landforms of the site and creates gathering spaces that are intimate and carved into the natural grade of the river levee. These small spaces become pockets of interest along the river, and each can become their own educational opportunity. The Cultural Center building is located along the narrow levee at the highest point of the site. The building cantilevers into the wetland area to highlight the vegetation and life in this area. In this concept, trails are also relocated to follow the areas along the beach and wetland so that the views of the river and water are always taken advantage of. There are key areas around the wetland that will be opportunities for interpretation and education through creative signage or art sculptures created by Native American artists that can represent something about the significance of the land and water. Parking is a key issue in each concept. And in this concept, I address the issue of parking and circulation by keeping the roadway in the same spot, but adding a parking lot to the flatter northern part of the site to accommodate visitors without having to do a lot of grading. For each concept, I created a materials palette to describe my initial ideas for the general look of the site. Here I imagine a modern and minimalistic look that will reflect colors back to the visitors with stainless steel and natural wood architecture. The design here is formal, so dark river stones and cool colors stay in theme with the cultural significance of water in this concept. Native Americans saw themselves as part of a great natural order of life, related in some way to every other living species. For humans to live in health, happiness, and harmony, they must be in tune with the changing world around them. This concept is to reflect and take advantage of the seasonal changing conditions and highlight the changes that come with each season. A native garden would be separated into 4 segments, each providing interpretation about how the plants would be used during each season. In this design, a large gathering meadow is located at the northern part of the site, taking advantage of the relatively flat area sloping gently down in the direction of the river. A stage would be provided for large intertribal gatherings. 4 large art pieces would be located across the wetland to be viewed from the Cultural Center building. Each would represent a season. I also plan to take advantage of the sycamores on the south border of the site. A canopy trail could be incorporated into the trees to provide an opportunity to see nature from a new perspective. Parking is addressed here with a combination of paved areas for daily use and permeable natural pavers for overflow parking during the times of high use. Material palettes for this design combine warm and cool colors to reflect the changing seasons. I went with more organic forms and more casual design features. Colorful stucco would be the skin for some of the building, and canvas would be used for texture, contrasting the dark stained wood. Earth, water, wind, and fire are the 4 vital forms of energy that make up all living things. From ancient times, Native Americans have tried to live in harmony with the elements of nature. This design portrays the balanced relationship that Native Americans showed for the land and highlights the ways we can live in harmony and respect for the land today. The major difference between this design and others is the location of the building on the northern part of the site. In this location, it will not threaten the existing wetland, and the flat area of the land is larger, meaning that less of grading would have to occur in construction. This design maintains the location of trails where they currently exist, but plans for the renovation of trails to provide universal accessibility. Here, a gathering meadow butts directly up onto the river, presenting the opportunity for two educational features. First, the idea of fire as a tool for maintaining grass production for the seeds and basket making, and second, the significance of water as a life-giving element. Here at the top of the levee would be a native garden. Art pieces along the river take advantage of the breezes from the southwest for dynamic interpretation pieces. In addition, the trail would provide areas for temporary installments to represent our relationship to the earth and elements of nature. In this design, rusted steel gives the architecture an established and weathered appearance. Colors are chosen to blend with the natural elements, and large neutral canopies are used for shade. River stones and pavers carry out the elemental theme. Here I show the combination of the elements from each concept that I find to be most successful. From Concept 1, I took the gathering spaces on the river's edge. From Concept 2, the seasonal native garden and sycamore canopy trail. From Concept 3, the location of the cultural center on the north end of the site, and the renovation of existing trails for universal accessibility. Overall, I like keeping the majority of the development on the north part of the site. Thank you for taking the time to review my senior project. I welcome your initial thoughts and conclusions as I continue the design process for the California Indian Heritage Center in West Sacramento.